25 years ago, I was the Molson Canadian guy, and that commercial changed my life.
Hey, I'm not a lumberjack or a fur trader, and I don't live in an igloo or eat blubber or own a dog sled. And I don't know Jimmy, Sally, or Susie from Canada, although I'm certain they're really, really nice.
I remember when we ultimately we did the test, and then Molson decided, yeah, we're going to do the commercial. And I remember the day we shot the commercial, the VP of marketing at the time for Molson said, you know, we're going to ruin your life with this commercial. Glenn Hunt, who created the spot, he was the director, creative director at Ben Simon, Byrne & D'Arcy at the time. He said that I was the third person they saw. He said that it was the thank you ad lib at the end, thank you, that made him go, that is the guy. Laurie Estabrooks, who produced the spot, said it was because I had a wicked bad hockey haircut at the time. But the interesting thing about that commercial, and I think a big part of why it landed the way it did, is that it was ready in time for it to go on the wait list for the Oscars, for the Academy Awards that night. And so Molson did a media buy and got on the wait list. Robin Williams was hosting that year. He took the program long, and at a certain point, he did a performance of Blame Canada from South Park.
Now, blame Canada, blame Canada. It seems that everything's gone wrong since Canada.
Then they went to commercial break, and the rant came up. It was pure happenstance. Molson decided they wanted to go out and do live performances of this little speech. And so we ended up going out to, I think, Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, and then in Toronto, and culminated in a trip across the country on Canada Day, where I started at midnight in St. John's, Newfoundland, and made my way across the country. That tour was the first time I had ever seen Canada. And so that was really an introduction for me to the country, and I met an awful lot of people, and I drank a lot of beer with a lot of Canadians, and it really forged my relationship, I think, with this country and my love for the people of this country. In the year 2000, the feeling of Canadian pride was really high in this country. I got to see that firsthand. I got to see that openness, I guess, of Canadians. It was a remarkable thing to see that no matter how far apart we may be and how different culturally we may be, that at the end of the day, we are still so very, very similar. 2025 is a very different context than 2000. And I think that what we're seeing right now is that when someone outside of the country starts to take aim at us, we can close ranks very quickly. And that sense of identity and pride and love of this place and love of our neighbor comes right back to the fore.
The first nation in hockey and the best part of North America. My name is Joe.
It's interesting that before I did this commercial, I had never really thought too much about being Canadian or patriotism, what Canada was. I ended up working for History Television and going into parts of this country in the West Kootenays or Churchill, Manitoba, Norway House, Manitoba, Joa Haven in Iqaluit, places that most Canadians never get to see. Meeting the people there, interacting with the people there, staying with the people in those places. Then I came to CBC and ended up having conversations with people across the country and around the world. And this has always led me to consider and reconsider and reevaluate who we are, or at least from my point of view, who we are and what we stand for as a country. And it is interesting for someone who lived the first 27 or 28 years of their life without really thinking about it, what a profound love I've come to have for this country. Not even so much for the country, because the country is sort of a weird esoteric notion for me, but for the people of this country. I know we have been far from perfect, and I know our past has been problematic and violent at times. I believe that we believe in the things we say we believe in. The power of the spot doesn't come from within the spot. It comes from the energy that is attached to the spot by the people who see it and the people who share it. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised to see it come up, because there's something about it that has this quality. And then on another level, it's so far in my past. There's been so much water under the bridge that it's almost like it's someone else who's in it. But I also have to just shake my head and go, Joe, man, they can't kill Joe. Joe will not die. Although he is getting a little older looking, get a few more wrinkles and white hairs.